I'm Town Manager Chris Taylor.
I'm Amber Baker, Deputy Town Manager and Finance Director for the Town of Milton.
Town staff started the budget process in early fall of 2025 and began discussions with the Select Board in November. Together, we've worked hard to prepare the proposed fiscal year 2027 Town General Fund budget, taking into consideration the needs of town residents and what the town needs to provide the level of service our residents expect and deserve. We want to take a few minutes to walk you through the proposed FY27 budget.
The proposed fiscal year 2027 Town General Fund budget totals $12,104,106, of which $8,192,390 will be raised by property tax revenue.
Local property tax revenue will only increase by 4.2%, despite an overall budget increase of 9.56%. Town staff and the Select Board worked hard to reduce the tax burden on property owners by identifying and using pre-existing alternative revenue sources to offset increasing costs. This year, we are increasing the amount taken from the town's fund balance, which is essentially the town's savings account, by $225,000, bringing the total used to $625,000. This is money the town previously collected and saved from past years due to unanticipated excess revenues, unexpended operating budgets, and investment earnings.
Additionally, we expect revenues to increase from various departments. This includes a 21.5% increase in expected revenues from our rescue department due to increased call volume.
The biggest increases in town expenses are non-negotiable costs we must pay. Even if we made no spending changes from the current fiscal year, our expenses would have already increased. Those obligated expenses include the first full payment for the new Don Turner Jr. Public Works facility, which will be due in the fiscal year 2027. On top of that, required increases for union salaries and rising health insurance premiums added substantial contractual staff-related costs across all departments. Health insurance premiums were one of our largest unavoidable increases.
The budget also includes a proposed new full-time police officer and a new full-time administrative staff member to help manage town duties across several departments. The police department's staffing numbers have remained steady for over 15 years. In that time, the town's needs have grown, along with the expectations of the police department. An increase in staffing is necessary to meet those growth needs.
What does all of this mean for your property tax bill? The town portion of your property tax bill makes up about 25% of your total bill, with the school portion making up the remaining 75%. With the 4.2% increase of revenues raised by property taxes, the town's portion of the tax increase on a home valued at $350,000 is estimated at about $33.27 more per year, or $2.77 per month. We believe this budget is fiscally responsible, balancing the rising cost of providing high-quality services with minimizing the tax burden on residents.
Hello, fellow Milton residents. I'm Michael Morgan, Vice Chair of the Milton Select Board. On behalf of Darren Adams, the Chair of the Select Board, and the rest of the board, I would like to thank the dedicated town staff for putting forth a responsible budget proposal. We aim for a budget that meets the needs of our growing community while balancing the needs of the taxpayers of Milton.
In addition to the budget, you will find two other articles of interest on the town meeting ballot this year. Article 4 on the town meeting ballot gives voters the opportunity to decide whether or not it's right for our community to assess a 1% local option tax on sales, meals and alcoholic beverages, and rooms, pursuant to 24 VSA subsection 138B. As mentioned earlier, the town staff and select board actively look for alternative revenue sources to reduce the tax burden on property owners. One such alternative is the 1% local option tax. The state of Vermont offers municipalities the option to vote on levying a 1% local option tax on sales, meals, alcoholic beverages, and rooms. This tax is in addition to what is collected by the state of Vermont. Milton would receive 75% of the revenue generated, and the state payment in lieu of tax program would receive 25%. Visitors from surrounding towns such as Georgia, Fairfax, and Westford regularly shop, dine, and purchase goods in Milton. Those visitors use Milton's roads and public infrastructure, and a local option tax ensures they help contribute to those costs. Currently, when Milton residents shop or dine in neighboring towns like Colchester, Essex Junction, St. Albans City, and Williston, we are already paying a local option tax, and those municipalities are collecting that revenue to support their own local budgets and infrastructure. Adopting a local option tax in Milton would allow our community to capture similar revenue here at home from visitors and non-residents who shop and dine in Milton. The local option tax is a way to help diversify the town's revenue stream, helping keep property taxes lower than they would be otherwise. This money can be dedicated to capital improvements that residents rely on every day, including town facilities, vehicles, and equipment for public safety and public works, as well as road paving and public infrastructure. If desired by residents, it could also be used to expand town offerings and amenities, which was done in a neighboring municipality when they utilized their local option revenue to fully fund a brand new recreation facility. At the Select Board meeting on January 20th, the Select Board voted to put this question before voters and allow residents to decide whether this is appropriate for Milton.
Article 5 on the ballot asks voters to authorize payment of property taxes by delivery of payment electronically or physically to the tax collector before 5 p.m. on the due date set forth in Section 1009 of the Town Charter. If voters approve this article, all tax payments would be due as of 5 p.m. on the due date set by the Town Charter. Any payments received after 5 o'clock p.m. would be considered late, regardless of when they were mailed or otherwise delivered to the town. In part, this is prompted by recent changes by the United States Post Office. Effective December 2025, the Post Office now defines the official postmark date as the day an item is first processed at a distribution center, not when it's dropped into the mailbox. This change means mail may be postmarked days after deposit, potentially resulting in payments being considered late, even if it's mailed before the deadline. Updating the town's policy to focus on the date payment is received avoids such problems and also makes the town's policy for property tax payments consistent with utility bill payments.
Sample ballots and additional information can be found on the town's website at miltonvt.gov/vote once early voting begins in mid-February.
Hi, I'm Kristen Beers, Milton's Town Clerk. The vote on the FY27 town budget will take place on Town Meeting Day, Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. The polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Milton Town offices located at 43 Bombardier Road. Please use the main entrance and staff will direct you to the correct voting area. If you have any questions or need more information about what is on the ballot, you can visit the town's website at miltonvt.gov/vote or contact the town clerk's office.
Your participation matters. We encourage all Milton residents to review the budget documents and come vote on Town Meeting Day, March 3rd, at the Milton Town offices.